I was like that before when I see somebody disabled and I feel shy. I don't know how to approach them, so I try to ignore them. Ignorance, is not a reason to not approach somebody who is disabled. They're just like you and me. That's how God made each of us. But since 2016, when, a volunteer of Joni and Friends friend visited me in Davao and asked me if I know of anyone needing a wheelchair. And I'm like, I don't know, but I will ask. So in asking around, that's when I first, knew that there are people with disabilities in our city. God has really paved the way for us to slowly learn and adopt, to accept the differences in each of us. I also experienced caring for the disabled people through my family. My dad has dementia, and my mom has spinal, decompression, and so she's bedridden. And my sister has schizophrenia. It's not like God put me in a situation where it's a big thing that I cannot handle, but it's just one thing after another that I slowly was able to adjust and handle. So that I'm really thankful to God to give me that opportunity to learn how to handle the challenges that my family and I are faced with. We grew up with my mom, the only Christian then, and so we were a bit separated from our cousins in that we go to a Christian school. So we were quite different then. And so we learned about Jesus from when we were little. And I received Jesus in 1982 in my second year of high school. I'm a bit hard-headed and hard-hearted then. And eventually, God continued to be faithful and be there for me despite my wanting to get away from Him. So eventually, I learned who He really is in my life through the challenges that life has faced me with. Now, I do have aunts and uncles who are believers, and cousins who are believers and are active in the ministry. We remain very close-knit, and so I am thankful for that. That's a blessing that really not a lot of families I know of have that support. Looking back, I'm glad that my mom stayed firm in Jesus, in having us go to a Christian school and us going to worship at church. So that remained our home church up to now.